If you're ready, I'd like you to join me on a virtual couch today, because today we are going to be talking about feelings and emotions in relationship to companies, perhaps your organization, right? Because it's possible to feel very strongly about companies, to actually perhaps even love them. Starbucks, for example, right? Maybe it's not your cup of coffee, but they have over 27,000 locations worldwide. Some people love Starbucks. Another example, Avis. Does anybody know Avis? I don't know, is it here? It's a car rental company. Let me tell you how I feel about Avis. Now let me tell you why. This is a picture of an actual expense report that I had to submit to Liferay. And if you can see, possibly right here, they charged me double the price because I returned a car 62 minutes later than I expected, just over an hour. If I returned the car 1 minute later than I expected, they would charge me 75% extra on top of that. And so, what did I do about it? Well, I commented about it, right? I made a note, and this is important because in the world today, people are looking for feedback, information about companies, right? And you're thinking, well, Henry, this isn't maybe the best example, right? Because there's not many options to a car rental company, right? Like Uber, you can is for an alternative to a cab. Airbnb, certainly to a hotel. But car rental agencies really don't have much competition, do they? Well, in fact, they do. Has anybody heard of Turo? Turo is a peer-to-peer car rental company. So you can come to US, come visit us in New York, and you don't have to rent a car from Avis. You could actually rent a car from a person instead. Why is this important? Because this is the result of digital transformation. Something that we're all very well aware of. Two words you've probably heard over and over and over. Digital transformation is absolutely changing the expectations of your users and your customers. And I was at an event a couple months ago, a banking event with for a customer experience banking event, and a woman on the panel, an SVP of a very large bank in the US, was asked, what is her #1 challenge relating to digital transformation? You know what she did not say? She did not say ROI. She did not say renewals. She did not say operational efficiencies. She did not say new leads. She said, I struggle with remaining relevant. This is a bank. This is an institution that we all use that's been around forever, right? And yet her concern is just existing right now because of digital transformation. Well, two other words you've probably heard a lot about recently is customer experience. Customer experience seems to be pretty much everywhere. Everybody wants to jump in on the customer experience game, right? There's a lot of information out there that endorses the value of customer experience. There's a lot of reports that you can read up on, and I won't bore you with that. But I will show two examples, I think, that endorse what's happening with customer experience in business today. The CX index is a Forrester index. Forrester analyst company now has an index to rate companies based on their ability to deliver customer experience. And they provide a report every year on the companies that are doing it best. Gainsight is a company that builds a customer experience platform. Just a couple years old, they were awarded $52 million to build out a customer experience platform. So yes, customer experience is definitely here to stay. At least for the moment, this is a way to people are addressing the deficiencies and the challenges of digital experience. Now, what happens if you don't address those challenges? 6 out of 10 customers change brands because of a bad customer experience. 9 out of 10 will go to a competitor based on one customer experience, and almost everybody won't even tell you why they left. They just go. And if you're lucky enough to actually keep them, guess how hard it is to regain that trust? 12 good experiences make up for just one bad experience. So, is customer experience the answer? Maybe yes. I'm here to tell you that there is opportunities within the engagement process that can address some of these real concerns that every one of us, Liferay included, faces today. At the heart of a customer experience platform or process within an organization is this one key concept, if it's done well. It's customer centricity. Customer centricity essentially means put yourself in the mind of your customer and do what they want you to do. And it's not an easy thing to do, right? Because our goals, whether it's financial, our operational goals, are usually for sustainability of our organization, and that usually conflicts, or often conflicts, with what is best for a customer. So customer experience uses a set of tools to help navigate those expectations and help you identify the ways to address those deficiencies. And these are a set of tools that we use, and some of them maybe you're familiar with. Net Promoter Score, customer satisfaction and surveys, voice of the customer. You have customer experience managers or customer success managers, frontline people who are engaging with customers. But today we're going to talk about two: journey maps and moments of truth. Journey maps. I know there's a presentation yesterday about journey maps. How many people in the room actually know that they have a journey map at their organization and they use it? It's fantastic. 1, 2. So this should be really enlightening to you, and that is exactly what I hear when I talk to other people as well. It is still very early in this stage, but journey maps are an incredibly important tool in helping identify the opportunities for your organization. So if you were perhaps at this session before, maybe you've understood or have an idea of what journey map is, but I use this image, it's an old cartoon, to help describe kind of visually, conceptually, what it does. It identifies the multiple touch points that every customer has with your organization throughout their journey. So when an organization decides to do a journey mapping exercise, they break down all the different individual touch points that a customer has, and you bring all the different parts of that organization together, the different departments, and they break it down piece by piece. And this is a picture of Liferay doing exactly that. And what we do is we find these different phases, requirements, development, test, and we identify each of the different touch points, each of the different departments, and start to understand, first and foremost, what's happening across the organization, across the entire journey. You probably think to yourself, it's very possible, right? I don't actually know what support does or how they interact, or I don't know what the sales rep is promising our customers once they come here. It's very possible. So this is what happens, and from this outcome, you get a journey map. It's a little faded on the bottom, but this is a journey map. Remember Starbucks? This is a Starbucks customer experience map for getting a cup of coffee, an in-store experience. And it's very hard to see, but you can probably tell there are 50, 75, maybe even 100 different touch points just for buying a cup of coffee in a store. And you're saying, oh my gosh, Henry, how on earth am I supposed to optimize each and every one of these touch points? I mean, this is a massive ordeal, right? Yes, it is. That's true. It is daunting. Starbucks is very successful because they address this way, but the reason I'm here today and what I hope to help you understand today, the value I hope to bring to you today, is that this isn't what you necessarily have to focus on. All of these touch points are not equal. There are, in fact, probably just a number of them that are critical to your customer engagement and how your customers relate to your organization. Perhaps it's what the coffee tastes like, or if the music is too loud when you enter the store. Journey maps define these moments, and we call these moments of truth. A moment of truth is a critical touch point that can define the relationship with your organization, and often is the moment that they create an emotion is connected to your organization. So today we're going to do a little journey mapping exercise. By complete coincidence, if you were at Natalia's session yesterday, I heard she did the exact same thing, which is fine, but it was not planned, I'm just telling you. So right now we're going to do a very simple journey mapping exercise. And we are going to evaluate a stay at a hotel. We have a hotel, and we're going to evaluate the customer experience for coming to a hotel. Everyone here, most people here are probably actually staying at a hotel. So first we'll say we enter the hotel. We'll define the different stages. We enter the hotel, we'll check in, we go to the room, we have an in-room experience, maybe the TV, the comfort level, the air conditioning, the view. Maybe have amenities, maybe there's a pool. I think sleep is probably its own defined category. It's a critical aspect of the experience. How comfortable is the bed? How quiet is it? Maybe you have breakfast. And finally, you check out. Okay, let's say, we have all those different touch points below. I didn't fill in all the bottom, but let's say, like this Starbucks example, we fill in all those different touch points below, right? You enter, you get online, you evaluate the comfort of the room, etc., right? And let's say through this, we identify 4 areas that are deficient, our customers are not really happy with. I'm going to ask you a question at the end, so pay attention. Number 1, say there's a line. Say common experience is that there's often a line when people check in. Say the remote control is really hard to use. Let's say you have to pay $3 for a bottle of water. I mean, you know what it costs them. It costs them 3 reals, right? So the fact that they're charging you $3, people don't like that. And finally, when you use the hotel Wi-Fi, maybe they make it hard. Maybe they try to trick you into paying for Wi-Fi even though it's free. Now, the crazy thing is I've taken all these pictures in hotels because when you're a customer experience manager, you're a little bit off in the head, right? And they're always thinking about customer experience. But these are actual pictures, right? So my question to you right now is which of these experiences do you think is potentially a moment of truth? Does anybody want to raise their hand? Flavio. Oh, go ahead. I'm going to call on you. Which one of these is 4 possible examples? Which one of these is potentially a moment of truth? Oh, go ahead, please. I'm sorry. Now I'm cutting you off. Sorry. Which one? You think all 4? So this hotel is a hotel that I stayed at. I had a layover on my way to LA from New Jersey, and I had a 6-hour layover, and I thought, in Las Vegas. I thought, great, I'm gonna get to go to Vegas. I'm gonna get to the hotel, I'm gonna get to the airport, I'm gonna take a cab, it's only 20 minutes away, I'm gonna get to the hotel, I'm gonna do a little gambling, I'm gonna take a nap, I'm gonna get up in the morning and fly back to LA. Awesome, my boss will never know. I arrived at 11:50 p.m., 23:50, right, in the evening. And guess what I found? That's my line. In fact, after waiting for about 15 minutes, I thought, oh, wait, you know what I'll do? I'll just log into my phone because clearly, I made the reservation online and I went to their hotel app, then on app online. They said, oh, you can check in online. Guess what? I tried to check in line. I couldn't. I waited over an hour, at which point I just decided to go straight to the casino, and I went and slept for an hour at like 5 in the morning. When I went home, I checked, and it turns out I was not the only person that had this experience at the Luxor Hotel. So what did I do? Well, I told people about it. I wrote about it. If someone asks me, I'm going to tell them what I feel. And guess what? This should actually be terrifying to all of us. Because this one experience completely defined my relationship with this company. And the thing is, that is true for everyone here in this room, including Liferay. So, what can we do about it? First and foremost, look at any information that you have. right? Understand, if you find out if you have data, perhaps you have long waits on, on your call center, right? Maybe you're going through, people are waiting to go through different processes. Maybe there are, people are sending items back because they're too difficult to put together. Maybe you have to, your instruction packets are too big. That information is potentially out there. But it might not be. Quite honestly, you can also use your intuition. You kind of know what things people will or won't like. And third, it's usually the hard stuff. It's usually the things that you haven't addressed yet. Now, the thing is, this doesn't have to come from customer experience. Everyone in this room, I'm guessing, has some interaction with a person, with a customer, with an employee, with a student who is using a system that you are somehow related to, whether you're in IT, whether you're in marketing, even whether you're in sales. And you can help find those problems, help identify them, and bring them to the attention of people who can make a change. But I think even beyond these three, there's one more thing that is, to me, is almost like the key critical aspect, right? It's usually the thing customers cannot control. I can control whether I want a bottle of water. I can control whether I use the TV. I cannot control checking into a hotel. Checking into the hotel is the moment of truth in my estimation. I cannot control sometimes when I bring a car back. Sometimes I will be late. Why should I necessarily be penalized? If they want to, they can. If someone wants to change that, it will make a difference to me. I will feel better about that. So, perhaps, for example, for your organization, you have people that are on the road, perhaps technicians, that are logging into their phones, perhaps an iPad, and they need to access PDFs, manuals, documentation, right? Technical documents, and it's very hard to do on this device. Look how tiny that type is, right? Are you considering how people are getting the information from you? One of Liferay's customers, a financial services company, had exactly that. They had financial analysts who needed to use PDFs, access PDFs when they were talking to customers on the road. This customer created an application in Liferay that converted PDFs to HTML documents, 25,000 documents, and was able to actually provide a much better usable experience that benefited not just their users, their financial analysts, but their customers. I think one thing that is often overlooked with customer engagement and digital transformation is how important it is to empower your employees and the people you work with who work with those customers. The better empowered and more information that your employees and that your customer-facing representatives have, the better the customer experience is going to be for the customers, but the happier your customers are going to be as well. I talk about customers frequently, but a customer is not just someone who buys a product. It's an employee. Like I said, it can be a student. It is anyone who interacts with a system of record or as a process that you have in place. Perhaps, for example, you have a call center. When I was at that banking event, a person told me the biggest pain point that his customers reported was when they called their institution, there were 6 seconds of this, waiting for someone to pull up their information. And then, once they pulled up the information, they were transferred 3 or 4 or 5 times until they found the right person. What if, for example, you had a dashboard that pulled together all the information from those different disparate systems, which you probably heard about a little bit at this event, and offered a simplified view of all that information right at their fingertips? And finally, maybe you have a retail bank, and you're concerned because some of your high-wealth customers are leaving you or don't feel as appreciated. There's no differentiation. Perhaps you're feeling like you're no longer at the cutting edge of what the financial institutions offer. Perhaps their app that we've created triggers an iBeacon when they walk into the bank, into a retail bank. It triggers a notification on a financial analyst's desk that Flavio's walked in, very important customer. And the financial analyst comes right to the front of the bank and greets him and brings him back to his desk and shows him all this information. He's able to talk with him with education and information and help him have a better experience and feel valued as a customer. This is a Liferay page that can do that. So I actually spoke faster than I thought, but what I'm trying to promote here is two things. First and foremost, don't think this isn't coming or isn't relevant. The whole example at the beginning of Avis, of Luxor in the middle, right? Those are real challenges, but real opportunities for everybody here to create that differentiation. And consider technology as part of that solution. It's not the only solution, but that transformation should put can put the customers at the center of their operations and make it a customer-centric approach, and it's something that you can do with Liferay. And with that, hopefully, you're creating customers that love you. Okay then. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Harry.